Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Mohammad Fateh AL-KADIR bin Mohammad ZULKARAMI. My matrix number 1212424. And today, I will present the development of Islamic banking in Malaysia. The content of this presentation is firstly, the introduction. Next, the development of Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia. Third, the legal framework of Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia. Fourth, the conclusion. And lastly, the references. So let's get started with the introduction. Malaysia is a country with the majority of its citizens profess the religion of Islam. As a Muslim, it is important to always follow Syariah principles, including in business. According to Section 2 of Islamic Banking Act 1983, Islamic banking business is the financial banking system that complies with the Syariah principles. Next, let's look at the development of the Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia. It started way back in 1969, whereby the concept of the Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia began with the establishment of Pilgrims Management Fund and Board Malaysia. This board was the first Islamic institution to apply Islamic transactions with the purpose to encourage Muslims to do saving for their pilgrims fund. However, this board cannot be considered as a bank but more as an institution to collect deposits in assisting Muslims in Malaysia to perform its pilgrimage. Next, in 1983, the first Islamic bank was established, namely Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad or BIMB, under the Islamic Banking Act 1983 or IBA. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Malaysia was given the power under the purview of IBA to regulate and supervise Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad. One of the most important keys in the business operations of BIMB is the Interest-Free Banking Scheme, or IFBS. The objective of this bank is to operate as an Islamic financial institution that in compliance with Sharia principles. Subsequently, in 1993, the Islamic window system was introduced under the Interest-Free Banking Scheme IFBS. The Islamic window system subsequently produces the dual banking system that provides for the conventional bank and Islamic bank to coexist in the financial system. After that, in 1996, the Interest-Free Banking Scheme allowed the conventional banks to set up a fully Islamic banking branch due to amendment made to Section 124 of the Banking and Financial Institution Act 1989. The amendment allows for the conventional banks with Islamic windows to be set up as Islamic subsidiaries and offer a full-fledged Islamic banking system. The example of Islamic subsidiaries are CIMB Islamic Bank Berhad, RHB Islamic Bank Berhad, and Maybank Islamic Berhad. Furthermore, in 1999, Bank Muamalat Malaysia Berhad started operation as a second full-fledged Islamic bank in Malaysia. This bank as well governs under the Islamic Banking Act 1983. The Islamic banking and financial business continued to develop until ultimately, in 2004, the financial liberalization policy was implemented by the government and allowed the conjoint of foreign Islamic bank in Malaysia's banking and financial system. These banks were permitted to operate in Malaysia under CBM and licensed under IBA. The purpose is to improve the Islamic banking and finance system as well as to create more opportunities. Therefore, three licenses were given to foreign Islamic banks, which are Kuwait Finance House, RRG Banking and Investment Corporation, and consortium led by Qatar Islamic Bank and ASEAN Finance Bank Berhad. Next, let's look at the legal framework of Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia. Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia were not able to stand alone and need legislative support in regulating the Islamic banks in Malaysia. Therefore, I will discuss the crucial provisions that influence the Islamic banking and financial system in Malaysia, which are: the first is Islamic Banking Act 1983, second, Banking and Financial Institutions Act 1989, and lastly, the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 1958. Firstly, in 1983, the government has passed an act known as the Islamic Banking Act 1983 or IBA to allow the establishment of Islamic banks in Malaysia. Thus, the first Islamic bank, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, was established in 1983 along with the provision. The Act provides the licensing for Islamic banking business as well as regulates the management and operation of the Islamic banking business. However, the Act only governs the two local full-fledged Islamic banks, the foreign full-fledged Islamic banks, and Islamic subsidiaries bank. In other words, the conventional banks that operate Islamic subsidiaries are not governed under this Act. Next, under CBM's policy in allowing the conventional bank to operate under the interest-free banking scheme or Islamic window, an amendment was made to the Banking and Financial Institution Act 1989 or BAFIA. The amendment was made in 1996 with the purpose to allow any conventional bank licensed under this act to improve from the Islamic window to an Islamic subsidiary, but with the consultation of CBM. This amendment was made with the purpose to facilitate the establishment of Islamic banking and financial business in conventional banks. Thirdly, in the year 2003, an amendment was made to the Central Bank of Malaysia Act 1958 or CBMA by inserting a new provision of Section 16B which provides the establishment, appointment and qualification and regulation of the Sharia Advisory Council or SAC. The SAC was established with the function to advise the CBM on Sharia matters concerning the Islamic financial industry. Under this amendment, any financial institution operating Islamic banking and financial business shall also seek the advice of the SAC to ensure that the operations of the business are following the Sharia principles. In addition, the institution shall also follow the order from SAC in any matter related to Islamic banking and financial business. For the conclusion, Islamic banking and financial business system in Malaysia have been established for over 39 years since the first Islamic bank in Malaysia in 1983. The system have been improved over time by the aid of the legal system. A new provision and amendment were made for the purpose mentioned. I hope Malaysia's Islamic banking and financial business grow even greater and give more benefits to the country as well to the international level. That's all from me. This is the list of my references. And that's the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.